Hello, everybody! Everybody get hyped. Get ready. Today is Championship Sunday, and we are back, folks. One moment. I'm going to throw up our schedule for the day. So a huge thank you to Jay, who threw together this schedule, and this is our first schedule of any event, but here we go. This is the schedule. So first up at 10 a.m. is 3 Musketeers versus Cheese followed by Blue Cat Smurfs versus Grand Plats, the second semifinal matchup. And then last up is going to be the, or not last up, third place match following that around noon. These times are subject to change, obviously. And then the grand finals at 1 p.m. So, welcome everybody, get hyped. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here is the bracket view. So, let me transition this. This is our bracket today. Obviously, the schedule kind of says it all, but here you go. For the bracket for the day. And it's going to be exciting. Cheese A. I see you, chat. I hear you. It's going to be an extremely exciting one, a fun one. I think the... Oh, let me turn this down a bit. The music, sorry. There we go. I turned it down for me, not you. But anyway, it's going to be a fun one. I'm looking most forward, personally, I think, to Grand Plats Blue Smurf Cats. I think there's a lot of animosity, a lot of rivalry there. And Grand Plats, whether or not they wanted to, they've turned a lot of their matches into some grudge matches. But there's some news. There's some news. Our first pre-show news bit today. Blue Cat Smurfs is going to be playing with a sub. So one of their players who's in their chat right now, Scarmy, is unavailable for the entire day. So they're going to be playing Grand Plats. Sorry if I'm it, but yeah, they're going to be playing with the sub. So it's going to be interesting. They're going to have to come together with a new player they haven't played with before named Seer. And that's going to be interesting. So people are asking, who are the Grand Plats? And that is a good question. So give me a moment, I have to find the information. The Grand Plats are Mystic, Phosphorus, and Invincible. And like I said, I don't know if they've been trying to trash talk, but whether or not it was intentional, they are ready to roll. Alright, one moment, folks. We have a bit of an announcement today, so give us just a second here. But without further ado, I want to welcome our first ever co-caster to the desk. So everybody, give a huge round of applause. Welcome Hedge Solo to the casting booth. Hedge, how you doing?
Yo, what's up? I'm doing really good, guys.
Alright, you're a bit quiet on my end, so let me pop you up. Or let me, actually, can you talk again? Let me check if it's just my end.
I can indeed. What's up? What's going?
Alright, give it a moment. I'm gonna make it so everyone else can hear you. But I'm doing good, Hedge. Glad to hear you're doing well as well.
Someone called me CG5 and I'm not happy about that.
I see. See, yeah, someone did call you CG5. So how's it going, Hedge? What are you how are you feeling about the matches today? What are you most looking forward to?
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm most looking forward to the Cheese and 3 Musketeers match. I think 3 Musketeers can go all the way. You know, they beat a really great team yesterday. I think they could totally win the entire thing and make yesterday's match look not as bad as it was. So yeah. No, I'm really excited though for all the matches today. We should see some really great Rocket League today.
Awesome. Yeah. Alright, so I'm trying to think. I should have had more pre-show segments available, but this was kind of the biggest one to reveal. Hedge, so I think you were mentioning you don't have much casting experience, but that's okay. I don't have any casting experience either. What are you most who are you most looking forward to emulating your casting style of, or who most inspires you in terms of casting?
So Johnny and Fear, those 1v1 boys, love those guys. Their abilities, just to display what's going on the pitch, and color casting, analytical casting is phenomenal. I've watched Johnny Boy the most, probably. He's absolutely my favorite caster. To be able to emulate what he does is like a goal. But you know, he's had years to do this, so it'll take a long time.
Yeah, and it's funny to talk about Johnny Boy. He started off casting show matches, not unlike what we're doing. Obviously, he became an RLCS caster pretty quickly, but at least in terms of the life of the scene. But at the time he started, he was not an RLCS caster.
Yeah, that's correct. He just started getting as many players as he could on his 1v1 streams, and just kept doing that and cranking those out, and just doing his best to get as many matches as he could. And he's sort of a legend now, so yeah.
He is indeed. Alright, I'm updating our bottom text. This is the day 2, folks, not day 1. Semifinals coming up. Hedge, are you more looking forward to the semifinals themselves or the actual grand finals? Because we're talking about which semifinals more excited, but I honestly, the match of the day is probably going to be the grand finals, especially with how close some of these matches have been.
Oh, no, I agree. I think the semifinals will be great, but I'm also just looking forward to those grand finals because that'll be the best of the best out of this tournament, going head-to-head on each side of the bracket, so I'm really excited to see how it goes.
Same. I guess we can get into some predictions. So let's start with Cheese at 3 Musketeers. We've got a bit of time before our first match date starts at 10 a.m., so we'll run through some of these. So Cheese at 3 Musketeers. I think I'll go 3 Musketeers 4-2 is my prediction. I think they looked a bit better, a tougher foe perhaps than Bozo Brigade. Maybe a little bit of bias you may have towards that matchup, but let me know your thoughts. Who do you think takes home that victory there?
So a little bias, sure, but I don't think it's for the reason you think. I think that 3 Musketeers can absolutely take that match in 4-3. And I say that because I think that their 3v3 game is so much stronger than Cheesehead. And I think that, honestly, Musketeers can take every single 3s game and win the series. So I think it will go to Game 7, but I think it'll be determined through those 3v3s. And I think that'll be the standout match to watch.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, give me a moment. I gotta put my hat on, so I'm not gonna be able to hear you for a second. Alright, yes, folks, someone in the chat mentioned I forgot to put my hat on. Here we go. The hat is now on. I agree. I think the 3v3s are going to be especially important. And we also had a question in the chat, are the finals today? And the answer is yes. The finals are today. Nick, I'm not going to lie, Nick. I don't remember what team you're on, but here's the schedule. Or not the schedule. This is the bracket, but same thing. So the bracket's up right now, Hedge. And Cheese and Musketeers are first, followed by Grand Platts versus Blue Cat Smurf. So, Nick, just be aware of when your matchup is. And yeah, it's gonna be an exciting one. So we think the 3v3s are gonna be especially important for 3 Musketeers versus Cheese. I feel like it might be the same way. I think Blue Cat Smurfs, they struggled a bit against ABCs in the 3s. So now let's move on to that next matchup: Grand Platts versus Blue Cat Smurfs. I'll let you start off the predictions here.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a pretty clear victory for Grand Platts. They have a very, very strong 3 squad. They have a very strong 2 squad. Mystic had a great showing in the 1s. As close as the ABC's Blue Smurfs Cats series was, I don't think this one is going to be as close. I think I could see this as going 4-1 or 4-2 in favor of Grand Platts.
Interesting. That's such a fair assumption to make. Grand Platts had the easiest road here. They only dropped a single game to Pulsar. So I think the big question mark is the Grand Platts just that much better, or was Pulsar perhaps one of the weaker opponents in round 1? And I think that will be our answer today, is how that series goes down. I think it'll be a bit closer, but I still have Grand Platts taking it. I think they'll take it, though, in like a game 6, where they have they perhaps lose the 1v1. Although, now that I say that, I actually take it back. No, I take it back. I forgot. They're not playing with Skarmy. That's something important we should be talking about. Blue Cat Smurfs is playing with the sub, so that completely changes my prediction. It could potentially even be a sweep, because I don't think they'll have as strong of a 1v1 player anymore.
Right. I totally forgot that as well.
Yeah, so that's a pretty major issue. If they had Skarmy, I think he'd be winning the 1v1s and he'd keep it a bit closer. But I'm not so sure how it'll go down with the sub in.
Right. Yeah, so again, I think it's pretty clear Grand Platts, but Blue Smurf Cats, you never know. They could pull out an upset at any time, you know. We'll have to see, though. That'll be a match for sure.
Yep, an interesting match. And now we can't predict Grand Finals per se, but let's just say, which team do you think is going to take home the ultimate victory here?
I'm gonna have to go with the Grand Plats. They just, I know I was beaten by the Three Musketeers before, or yesterday. I don't want to be biased here, but I do think the Grand Plats on the other side of the bracket looked much more complete as a whole, like as a whole squad. I think they have all the parts to make a good crew battle squad. I think they can do very well. Mystic Invincible looked very convincing. Mystic looked very good in the ones against Hussein. And their threes looks the best out of all the teams, in my opinion. So I think the Grand Plats can do it. I think they'll meet the Three Musketeers in the finals, but we'll see.
That's a good a prediction as any. I also feel like you have to favor Grand Plats moving it, to win the whole tournament, but I would hope we get a nice close series to finish off the day. And it very well could go to Game 7. So that's another thing. We've gotten 2 Game 7s so far, a Game 6 and a Game 5. Perhaps today would be the first sweep. Do you think we'll get a sweep today?
If we do get a sweep, it'll be Grand Plats, Blue Smurfcats. I think that is the biggest skill disparity out of the 4 teams remaining. But other than that, maybe a reverse sweep if like some team isn't starting off too hot and they take it all the way back.
Yeah, that's a definitely good point. I agree that that's most likely to be the sweep, more so than anything because they have a player subbed in. We've got a lot of people cheering you on in chat, by the way. But yeah, I think that one's more likely to be sweep. And on the other side, you mentioned reverse sweep. Yeah, we have not had a reverse sweep, and I don't see it happening. I think reverse sweeps are already difficult in a best of 7 format. They're really rare, even in RLCS, and I think some of these teams, especially with the random teammates, are not going to have such the mental strength to make a comeback like that. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Hey, you never know with this game. This is probably one of the most unpredictable games, man. You never know what can happen on the day.
That's true. You never know. You never know. Speaking of that, I guess that brings us to an end of this segment. So I'm going to take us back to the desk view, where the bracket was up. And let me think. Do you know anything about the the drama that's been going on, the trash talking between the Grand Plats and some of the other teams in the tournament?
I have seen a little bit, yeah. I only woke up about like 45 minutes ago, so I'm very fresh with the drama, quote unquote. But there seems to be a lot of confidence from the Grand Plats right now. So I think they're just showing that with their talk in the Discord. I think it is merited. I think they are the best team remaining in the tournament. But, I think that other teams are going to want to try to beat them.
For sure. So yeah, that's pretty much the extent as I know as well. I guess the last point, let's talk about a team we haven't talked about much, Cheese Air. So something I originally noticed is that I thought it was going to be hard carry. So the number 1 overall player individually rated in the tournament is Frozo, who is on Cheese Air. But I don't know if you noticed, but yesterday 9pin was popping off a lot. How do you think that'll play into their match today? Or matches, I should say.
I do think that if they have 2s, they will just win. Dom 9pin looked like probably the best duo in the tournament. However, I already said this. I think it chalks down to those 3s game. Because at the end of the day, for a crew battle, you technically only need to win all the 3s. And then the 2s and 1s don't really matter. I think Frozo, as the number 1 seed, can easily win the 1s and can easily carry in the 2s. I don't think he can easily carry in the 3s. As you said, the 9pin, if he steps it up like he did yesterday, I think they have some chances to win the 3s. They're going up against a very strong 3s team.
That's a good point. Alright, so I think that brings us to our last segment for today, which is, let's talk about who do you think is going to be the MVP. So, for any new viewers or anyone even returning, the MVP, as decided by a fan vote, will win a Black Dueling Dragons Goal Explosion, so a nice little extra prize. And there are quite a few players still in the tournament that definitely could win MVP. Now, there is no official requirement that the MVP be on the tournament winning team. However, I do think, since I'm probably going to be picking the options to choose from, for the record, there will be 4 nominees for the MVP, that I think it's fair to say you had to make this Championship Sunday to be eligible. So, Hedge, from these 4 teams, which players do you think are, most in the running to win that prize?
That's an interesting question. Let me pull up the list of all the members of all the teams so I can see who exactly we have. I think you have to have Frozo in contention as the undisputed #1 player in this tournament. I think that's pretty clear. I think you could make a case for Mystic and Invincible each. I think they both showed very well. And I don't know, you could throw another 4. I think you could even throw like 9-pin there. Or Baby Zoo. I think he was very, very, very good. He hit a nasty double yesterday. So Baby Zoo also. But there's a lot of great players still left in this tournament, so who knows?
There is a lot. There's definitely a lot. I think you named all the big ones, though. For me, I think, funnily enough, because you mentioned Frozo and 9-pin, I actually feel like Steve, if he was thrown up to the fan vote, might win.
No, you're so right. Yeah,
might win the fan vote there from Cheese. If I don't know if I can throw him in though, unless they move on to grand finals. But even if they don't win, if they make the grand finals, I think there's gonna be a lot of clamoring to put Steve in the MVP vote.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we'll see what happens there. And I actually feel like genuinely that's not crazy. And the reason why is these teams were balanced based on rank. So given that he's the lowest ranked player on his team, he's actually, I think, stepped up more than a lot of the lower ranked players on their respective teams. So for all those low-ranked players, he has done the most. He scored a goal for his team. He's gotten not 1 or 2. I think he had 3 critical saves, including one in an overtime. So he's really been stepping up. So that would be interesting to see how that goes. We've already had people in the chat, Steven for MVP. Something else I've just seen in the chat, repeated a lot of times, so we'll talk about it now. Dom, who also goes by Frozo, is apparently not currently replying to his teammates. That changes things quite a bit. If he doesn't show up for the match against Musty Tears, you have to imagine that's going to be a stomp.
Yeah, for sure. If he only got maybe 1 hour of sleep or something today, that might be a problem. So, hopefully he shows up. If not, I don't see Cheese Egg going past the semis. I think Dom is a critical player.
Yep. Alright, so, how much time we got? 9 minutes. 9 minutes before first kickoff today. So, I guess we'll cut back to the schedule of the event for any new viewers. We've got a lot of viewers on right now. We got 13 people on. Here we go. This is the schedule of events today, folks. Again, the first match today is 3 Musketeers versus Cheese F, followed by the second semifinals around 11 a.m. Blue Cat Smurfs versus Grand Plats. Then the third place match, and lastly, grand finals. I've already asked you this, Hedge, but you're looking. Which one were you most looking forward to again?
Well, I think grand finals. Just whichever teams can make it through. I think that'll be the best to look for. I think it'll be Grand Plats Musty Tears, and I think that'll be a phenomenal match. But again, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. It looks like we have Steven in the chat. For anyone who's wondering, Steven has a YouTube account that has Nathan as his name. You did, Nathan, or Steve. I've always called you Nathan. You've done great. But yeah, I agree. Grand Finals gonna be one of the more, if not the most exciting. Gonna be a lot of fun.
I agree.
Hey viewers, just a mic check here. You guys can hear Hedge, correct? Let me know if you think he's too quiet. I can always.
Am I too quiet? Yeah. If I'm not at like 200%, we could get there. I'll just keep talking until like it's a okay amount. Don't want to be too quiet on the stream. Gotta have equal levels. Funi's saying I'm very quiet.
How about now, folks?
Is that better? It's probably yeah.
I think it's better now. Perfect. And that's important because the game sound's might drown you out once we get into the game.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Good stuff, folks. Thanks, everybody. A reminder, you can see the bracket for yourself by clicking the pinned comment. There's the bracket there. Additionally, if you want to be involved in events like this, let me throw it back to the desk here. Look at the camera. If you want to be involved in events like this, please check out the Discord. Link is in the description. That's where I get players for all these types of events. So if you want to play in future Rocket League tournaments, I'll be doing more of these in the future. Definitely check it out. And also, I guess one last thing before we cut to a quick break is if you're enjoying the stream, it's quite early. We have mostly returning viewers here. But if you are enjoying the stream, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the #1 way to help me grow, and it'll help you get notified for future, events, videos, live streams, all that stuff. So please consider it. All right. With that said, I think we're going to cut to a break here. So reminder, folks, when we come back, it'll be the first match of the day, Cheese versus 3 Musketeers. There may be a player missing, who knows. No matter what happens, folks, though, we'll get started, so don't be too alarmed. With that, Hedge, you got anything before we cut to a break?
I'm just really excited for today. Thanks, Pat, for having me on. I'm excited to cast. I think we'll have a great time.
Awesome. All right, so we'll see you guys in a few moments. I've got to figure this out. Whoops. Technical difficulties. There we go. We'll see you guys in a few moments. delay, folks. This is not, you guys aren't gonna like this, but we're having a bit of a delay here because we're gonna need a sub, but there is a sub coming, but it's gonna be an extra 5 minutes. So sorry about that, folks, but we'll be back now in about 6 minutes with the first match. Please don't go anywhere. Apologies for the delay. Alright, folks, sorry about that delay. We'll be getting to the match ever so shortly. Let me pop down the music. But here we go. We're going to be, like I said, live. Oh, I have to unmute my co-caster. Give me a moment. There we go. Edge, we're ready to roll.
Alright, sounds good.
Well, I say ready to roll, but we're still waiting on the sub. But we're nearly ready to roll. So, folks, for anyone who isn't aware, there's going to be a change. Frozo, the star player, the player we mentioned as an MVP candidate, is not responding. They are unavailable to play. Luke Bowman, who just mentioned them or just said something in the chat, is going to be playing. No worries, Eagle. Thanks for stopping by anyways, Eagle. But yeah, Luke Bowman's going to be stepping in to sub, which is going to be interesting. Hopefully, it doesn't mess them up too much, but you got to imagine that's a pretty big blow to their their hopes here.
Yeah, for sure. Their ceiling was astronomically high with Frozo. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. You never know.
We'll have to see. Alright, I'm trying to see if Luke, if I'm friends with Luke on Epic. Hopefully I am. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Alright, folks, we're literally just about to get started here, so do not fear. We're just about getting into the matches. And there we go. Alright, folks, loading into the lobby. Without any further ado, they get no time to to practice, talk, anything. We're just gonna get into the match here. There you go, folks. First match of the day, semifinals. Let's get hyped. Let's get ready. Here we go.
Very excited for this match, Pat. I believe we get to see a lot of great Rocket League.
Yep.
We'll have to see how Luke plays. He's got a lot to live up to. And here we go. Start with the kickoff.
Yep, so now we have a Lucas versus a Luke, which will make things a little harder, but should be alright.
I did notice that, yeah.
And the matches should still be somewhat even. So Luke is Grand Champ 1, at least according to his sign-up. So I do believe it should be mostly even. Oh, nearly a goal from Cheese. That would be a nice start after having to have a sub.
Luke went into the corner, stole the top right boost. He was going for that bump. It was a really good opportunity for 9pin. The shot, unfortunately, was just high, hitting the crossbar. Just Woozy now with the ball. Lucas trying to take it. And see if they get some pressure going. Deputy Dog takes that away, but misses the clear. Let's see. The ball is still in the orange half.
Yep, and now Twisted Tide gonna make a play out of this, passing it to his teammates. Their chemistry's gonna be a bit better than their opponents, as they have had all this time practice. I do believe they're in comms. Actually, I'm gonna do a quick check on that. But if they are in comms, that'll be a distinct advantage. Luke was being asked to go into comms. I don't know if he managed to do so in time before the match started.
Yeah, hopefully they are in comms, because that would be a massive disadvantage for this team. As we see 9pin going down the stretch. Deputy Dog there, but misses. Oh, what a great opportunity. It was so close. But we see 3 Musketeers going back down the pitch.
Yep, and we've gone scoreless here for now a minute, 2 minutes. Oh, not quite a minute 30. That's all it takes. 9pin puts the first goal in, and I think he's exactly who we have to look out for on Cheese. He was one of the standout players before, kind of pairing up very nicely with Frozo, and he might be their star player now going forward.
I agree. Have to see how Luke plays here, but 9pin starting off strong for Cheese. Let's see if he can do it again with a great clear down the pitch. Very close double attempt.
Yep. Missed on that double, but now Lucas is going to get a chance. Actually boom the ball away. Something we see a lot here in the crew fight is a bit of boomer ball. I think teams a bit too eager to just clear the ball down the field when you could have taken a bit of possession. I say that like I don't do the exact same thing in my own ranked matches, but...
Same here, Pat. I think if either team can take more control and slow down the pace of play, they might be able to get something, but Lucas shutting me up, just banging it down the pitch, getting a strong shot on net, and it goes in off the post. Great shot from Lucas.
Yep, that's like what we like to call a tactical whiff from Twisted Tide, leaving it for his teammate. Totally intentional there. Brilliant play. But either way, the Three Musketeers have tied it back up, and there's over half the game to go. We have a close ball game here.
That's right. 1-1 scoreline. Anything can happen. It may be a shootout. It may be just a one-goal game. We'll never know.
Ooh, bump on the goal line, and that does lead to a Luke goal. Unfortunately for Three Musketeers, they combine on the goal line here, and Cheese gets a free one.
That's a wonderful first pop from Luke, going to the backboard and getting the follow-up. It's a great play. Let's see how this kickoff goes. Seems... Ooh, not very even at all. We see Deputy Dog kind of miss the kickoff in the corner. So, you know, Three Musketeers have some free possession already, some pressure. As Ninepin is going to go for the air dribble to get it out of their half. And Luke with the shot and the finish!
Luke, what a goal here. A brilliant pass from Ninepin, it has to be said. Dribbling it through the air, leaving it at the perfect moment. And Twisted Tide just didn't predict a second player making a touch there. It goes right over him. And this is the strength of the side of Cheese.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
they're managing to work around each other very well. It almost looks... I was going to say strength was the rotation, but I forgot they're playing with the sub. So despite playing with the sub, they still have very strong rotations here.
I would agree. I think the difference between Frozo and Luke right now, Frozo was very solo play oriented. Luke right now and Ninepin are seeming to go together, but Lucas gonna slip right in between. Make that great pass from Twisted Tide off the backboard. Lucas with the finish, making it only a 1-goal difference now. Let's see if Three Musketeers can make it tied up again.
Indeed. They're looking like they might tie things up. I wouldn't be too surprised either way. Let's see here. Ninepin, though, trying to call his teammate's name, Deputy Dog. They are looking for the passes, and you see it happening here in real time. I have to wonder if we'll see an adjustment of Cheese, or sorry, out of Three Musketeers. Yep.
We see Woozy out of the corner with the follow-up clear. See Luke taking it to the wall, trying to get some clear action going, some possession. But Twisted Tide going for the dish just off the post. See Ninepin with a little tiny clear, but we got a follow-up. And Ninepin again with the pressure. Oh, just off. See if they can get a clear. No. Musketeers keeping the pressure on them.
Yeah, nearly a goal there, but it was kept out. Part by luck, part by skill. Either way, they're still just down 1 goal, but the saves aren't going to be enough for this side. They're going to have to get a goal here, or Musketeers are going to lose the first game of the series. Now, in this crew fight, in this crew battle format that we're using for crew fight, it's not a huge loss to lose game 1. You get the choice of 2v2 or 1v1, but it's still a loss, and certainly not one that Musketeers are going to want to take. Let's see if they can make anything happen here in the final 25 seconds.
As we go into the corner, and Luke with a touch. He's going to try to stop any chance of them winning this. Oh my gosh, what a save! Oh, it's still in! Luke with just the power shot, shutting up the Musketeers from trying to have any hope in this game. Twisted Tide tries to get that, like a powerful clear out of their half. I think it was wide. So
that's what I was about to say. That shot looked a bit wide, so a bit of an own goal of sorts from Musketeers. And now you have to imagine the game's pretty much over, unless they get a quick 1-2. Twisted Tide, he's keeping his team alive here. 12 seconds to go, but he makes it happen, and now they're just down 1.
On the other side. They're close.
Yep, a close one here. Let's see, final 12 seconds. We got a kickoff to go. Woozy matching up with Ninepin. Ninepin does win it, but Lucas was there.
Let's see if they have... Musketeers want any chance of getting
this is a chance.
They have to keep this
no.
up.
Twisted Tide had the opportunity, but couldn't get around the ball, couldn't get under the ball, and hits it to the ground himself. Cheese win game 1. starting this series off with a win in that with a mark in their win column.
Yep, and you gotta wonder, what are the Musketeers gonna choose? Do they feel more confident in their ones with Lucas, or do you think they're gonna go for twos?
Let's see. I've posed a question. They get to pick now. They have not had a lot of time to practice or talk over if they're going to be better in the ones or twos. They do pick twos. I'm not too surprised. Playing with the subs is going to make that more difficult.
For sure. Now, how Luke and Ninepin were linking up, I wouldn't be surprised to see another Cheese A victory here in Game 2. But you never know. With Twisted and Lucas may be able to pull something through.
Yep, and I just realized I misspoke. The Lucas and Luke are going to be messing me up. Lucas, and they obviously have had time to practice together. Cheese A is the one playing with sub. Okay, we are going to swap servers, so we're going to have to hop off of this. All right, folks. Just a moment. We'll get into the next match.
Game 2 should be an exciting one.
Next game, the match. Whoops.
So again, I think it'll be Twisted Tide and Lucas versus Luke and Ninepin. I don't think there should be any surprises there. I wouldn't be surprised if Luke and Ninepin can find the edge here in this game. They looked very strong in Game 1. I think they can continue that sort of dominant look in Game 2. And maybe keep that momentum going for Game 3 and Game 4.
Yep. I would not be too surprised, but because it's a sub situation, I think that might make more of a difference in 2v2. Well, I guess it just depends on which rotation Luke is more individually used to. If he's used to playing twos, it shouldn't be a problem at all. Nearly a chance there, but it is saved away. Lucas now on the counter.
Now we see Musketeers with some pressure. Lucas just trying to pop it to the backboard, seeing if they can find an opportunity. The pre-flip out, Twisted, see what he can do with the ball. Pops high. Luke has a pretty free catch, but misses the follow-up. Lucas is now able to get something on the backboard. Ninepin is able to stop it.
Yep, another nice opportunity, but another chance where neither team can put away the final goal. So we'll have to see if the defenses can keep standing strong here. We might have a low-scoring game. Pretty rare in Crew Fight. We've had a lot of high-scoring games here so far.
That's right. There weren't any super great looks on net. It's just kind of battering the ball around. It's kind of close, but this is a good chance for Lucas. This is a miss from the back line. Twisted Tide and unable to make connection. That was Ninepin, sorry.
Yep.
Ninepin unable to make connection.
Ninepin,
his team able to just
his
put it
teammate.
away.
Yep, his teammate were relying on him, and he couldn't keep that one out. Flies over the ball, and it's just a one-goal lead, but it's a nice start for Three Musketeers. If they're going to mount a comeback in this series, it's probably going to start with this game.
Absolutely. Cheese A. We're about to start some pressure on of their own. Immediately stopped away from Musketeers. Musketeers have the possession once again. Twisted putting it in the corner, but Ninepin's going to stop that. And Ninepin's going to put a shot on target, but it's just wide. Oh, but he gets the follow-up double. Great shot from Ninepin.
Yeah, Ninepin, he might have missed originally, but he read that the whole way. He followed the shot through and got himself a goal. Lucas maybe would have had a chance there if he went for a pinch or a quicker touch, but couldn't predict the Ninepin double opportunity.
I just didn't see that double coming. I didn't either, to be honest. I thought it was just wide and there was going to be no follow-up, but there was indeed a follow-up. As we see Lucas going down the pitch, and Twisted Tide keeping it back in the orange half. Lucas with a redirect attempt. Some good looks, but Ninepin with a clear. Lucas taking possession into the corner.
Yeah, Lucas taps this one up, and yeah, what figured it was going to be a quick shot here. Some nice shots shooting, but you have to imagine, especially with twos, the biggest risk reward play is passing to each other, because if you mess it up, you might be leaving your net open. But I think that's what's going to be required to get some more goals here. I think to break up the monotony of the solo plays, if you went for a passing play, it might, surprise the opposing defense. Speaking of passing plays,
puts this one in.
yeah, that's Exactly what I was talking about. Off the backboard to his teammate.
Yep. Twisted with a great first touch, with a powerful touch off that backboard. Seemed that they weren't able to get a great clear or even a touch to get that out. Twisted Tide now putting it on the backboard once again for Lucas to see if they can do it twice. Lucas with a double attempt, but fakes it for Twisted Tide in the top right corner. Great shot from the Musketeers.
And now a non-insignificant lead here for the Musketeers, up 3-1. You have to imagine they're going to need to make some shifts here if they're going to come back, tie up this game, maybe even win it. Let's see what they can do. And speaking of the 3 Musketeers, they're winning the fan poll. They've got 75% of the votes in chat so far. Let me know by voting in the poll who your favorite team is, who you're cheering on to win, or who you just think will win either way. And we'll see if that changes. But it is looking like 3 Musketeers are the fan favorites so far.
Yeah, I would have to agree. This twos is looking very strong for the Musketeers. I was expecting more out of Cheese Ed, but of course, they do have that sub, and Luke is kind of unknown in his skill right now, but hope he gets some on as he tries to go for that pass. But as you were talking, Pat, it's very risky to go for if you're that committed up the field, and Twisted Tide is able to convert. Sees 9pin pushed too far up, isn't able to make connection, and it's an open net down the field.
Yep, and that just extends their lead. The 3 Musketeers, they're looking like they want to take this game, and they don't want it to be close at all. Maybe they go for goal 5 here, but with 2 minutes to go, they could also turtle up and likely emerge victorious.
Yeah, for sure. So Luke has a passing opportunity to 9pin, but again, stopped by Twisted Tide. Lucas going to take some possession, going for the air dribble. He's going to opt for a low 50 for 9pin. He's going to try to get out of their half, but has no boost. Luke with the shot, blocked by Twisted Tide.
Yep, again, we're starting to see some more defenses emerge. Of course, as I say that, Luke gets to pass the defense with a really tight angle shot here. This was a beautiful one. Let's watch this one back. He pops it up. Yeah, very tight angle, puts it in the net. That's a nice start. Now 2 goals down. They got 1:25 to make the comeback happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see from Luke going forwards here. You want to see him make some of those clutch moments happen. Seeing as they are down 2 now, they're a little bit closer than they were before. And again, Luke coming in clutch, getting that lead from the Musketeers. Smaller and smaller. Now we only have a 1-goal game. Luke showing up right now. As we watch the kickoff, 9pin.
Well, let's see what happens here. We already got some drama in the chat. One of the players on Cheese is continually leaving and joining the match. Oh. There we go. 9pin tying up the game.
See 9pin with a great shot from the corner. Gets that initial touch, reads the rebound, and is able to get a nicely placed shot in the bottom left corner.
Yep.
Now we have our game all tied up. But that might change. That was not a great touch from 9pin. There could have been some follow-up shot if they were quick enough. The Musketeers, they were not. Unfortunately, Lucas getting bumped on the back line, but still able to get a clear. Dodge the bump. Just tied with a shot now. Blocked by 9pin.
It certainly could have been, and this really started to turn into a pivotal matchup in the series. I wasn't sure if it was going to be, but especially with how close this is a major game changer. For like, if Cheese win, their chances of winning the series go up dramatically. I think 3 Musketeers, this isn't necessarily a must-win, but you have to imagine they're really going to want to win this. If they lose another close match, they're going to be pretty devastated going into Game 3.
Yeah, for sure. I would hope they would be wanting a tied-up series, seeing as they lost the 3v3 to start. But we are tied up, and it's looking like overtime, unless Twisted Tide is able to say something about it, and Lucas maybe with a follow-up shot. Not quick enough as we head into overtime.
Yep, overtime for Game 2. This is going to be a close series. You already know it. Maybe a quick one here, though. Lucas, he's got a chance. He pops it over one. Can he get it past 9pin, though? It doesn't look like it. 9pin Another 50, another dangerous look. Is this just in? No, it isn't. But the follow-up is Lucas sends it home. We have a tied series.
Yeah, it was a great challenge from Twisted Tide. Ninepin had the ball right on top of his car, and Twisted opted to go high. The ball soared up to the top corner and popped right back down for Lucas to get that great finish. Great game 2 from the Musketeers. Excited to see how game 3 goes. Back to 3v3.
So Steve, or Steven, one of the fan favorites, was leaving and joining that match there. I'm not entirely sure what that was about. Let's throw him back into the party. Unless his maybe his game has crashed. We might have a bit of a delay here coming up.
That would be unfortunate. I would hate to see another sub having to come in for cheese. It just does not sound like a great situation. Seeing as seeing as Steven is in contention for that MVP for the fan vote, would hate to see that.
Yep, you certainly would hate to see if he could no longer finish out the series. We'll wait a moment here and let me cut while we're waiting. Oh, was that him? I can't tell. While we're waiting though, let's cut to the desk. So here we go. It'll just be us talking on the desk for a bit while we get into this not final, but next game in the series. It's a tied one. It's a close one. Let's talk about the fan poll again. So we've got 77% of chat voting for Three Musketeers, 23% voting for Cheese, and that was after Musketeers lost game 1. So I think that says a lot about the fans they have in the chat.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had a great showing in game 2. They came out with the lead early. Cheese was crawling back. They were fighting for that game 2 with those sort of clutch goals in the last half of the match. But ultimately, Musketeer is able to take that win. I think if they are able to show a more dominant performance, I think they can really take this series. Defensively, I think looked fine until that last half of the match. If we see more defensive moves from the Musketeers, I think they can take some threes games and maybe even like the ones game. But we'll see. I think Lucas and Twisted Tide had some great showings in that game, but not to mention Ninepin and Luke. They also were looking very, very good.
All right, folks, that has been a forced timeout for Cheese, and we might have a bit of a problem on our hands. Supposedly, he had to go. This is a bit unfortunate. This is quite
that's
unfortunate for Cheese.
that's MVP contention. Oh,
I
that's tragic.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't feel it would be fair to give them 2 subs moving forward. One sub per team. You know, it happens throughout the tournament, but I don't think we're gonna double up on substitutes here. So that might have to be a forfeit for for that might have to be a forfeit for Cheese. Which I hate to say it. I don't. That's not how I wanted this first match of the day to go. I'll throw it back to the desk. This is not a timeout anymore. Not how I wanted the first match of the day to go, but I really don't. I don't think there's any other way to do it. So
Yeah, unless the
I think
players want to play out a 2v3,
yeah.
I
Wait,
don't
I'll
see
give
it.
that option. Uh,
Yeah, it's just a really, really unfortunate situation for the Three Musketeers. Unfortunately, things happen, but hey, ultimately, if you don't have players showing up, I don't think you can move forward in the series. If that's 2 out of 3 of the original members, that's just really unfortunate. Yeah, if you got to feel bad for Ninepin. He
yeah, nine
has,
pin especially.
yeah, he looked like he was one of those standout players, especially like when he was playing with Frozo. He looked very, very, very good. And even in this series so far, just in the 2 games, he was looking very solid. You could tell he wanted to go to those grand finals, but it just may seem like that might not be possible now.
It sounds like they will be willing to 2v3. So, folks.
Oh!
All right, we got a series on our hands. It's gonna be awkward. All right. Okay, folks, we're gonna get right back into this. It's gonna be an interesting one. Here we go. Did I make it? I did. It's European servers, 2v3. But the series moves on. It is tied series. They at least won one game before they're playing 2v3. So guys, Cheese, they're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot, but they're still in the tournament. They have opted to not forfeit. I did not want to force a forfeit, so I think this is the best fair way moving forward. It is a huge disadvantage to being a 2v3, but I have seen 2v3s win before. It's certainly not impossible. Certainly not impossible.
Yeah, that was already a great look from Cheese. 9pin with a shot. We see 9pin and Luke both going up. It's sort of a double commit for that touch on the ball, but Twisted kind of gives up possession with a weak shot.
Yeah, and double commits are going to be especially important to look out for. When you're playing 2v3, you don't have room to double commit. That is a triple commit, effectively.
That's right.
And something else to look out for is it is a crew battle format, so they only have to play, or they only have to win one 3v3 moving forward here. In the rest of the series, as long as they win their 1v1s and 2v2s, they only have to win one 3v3.
That's right. So if they can win a 2v3, they might be able to take the series. But again, that's if they win a 3v3.
So we have a question in the chat.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have multiple questions in the chat. So Wyatt and Kirby, there have been two players that could not play today for Cheese. First of all, Frozo, also known as Dom, is just not responding today. We believe they're asleep, but either way, they're not available. And that they had a sub. That's Luke. That's why Luke is playing for them. He's their sub. But I don't allow second substitutions. And their second player, Steve, also is not playing now. So that's why it's a 2v3. They're not allowed to have a second substitution, so they didn't want to forfeit. They're going to play it out 2v3. But here we go.
Yeah.
A goal from Twisted Tide starts his team off in the lead.
Yeah, I think this goes to show that the pressure that 3 players versus having 2 can give. It's the save on the back line, on the goal line. Very good. But as I said, I think the difference between having 3 good players and having 2 good players is pretty apparent, because 3 players can much easier keep pressure on the orange half. As we see Luke off the sidewall, off the corner, 9pin not going to commit there. He didn't have a great look on the net, but he might try to change that here as it goes out wide, out down, and Musty Tears. Their defense is holding here. Converting on pressure. It's at 9pin to clear out. Luke with the follow. Let's see what they can do here.
So we'll have to see how the rest of the series turns out. But I mentioned it in chat, I'll mention it here for anyone listening to stream. I also make YouTube videos, and there will be a video about this event. And you know what? The drama might make a worse stream, but it will make a better video, especially if somehow, some way, a team of 2 made the grand finals. And 9pin, he wants to make that a reality here with this goal.
That was a great shot from 9pin. Perfectly placed in the upper 90. You gotta respect it. That was a great shot. Fortunately, it was a pass from Lucas, so he acted as that third man for Cheese. But otherwise, that was a great shot from 9pin. We have a tied up game 3. Pin looking for some more action in the blue half. Luke with the pass to 9pin. 9pin with a follow-up maybe, but gets bumped out. And now Musty Tears have an opportunity to try to score. A weak shot on net, easily saved by Luke. As Luke tries to clear it out, but Lucas with the interception. And the
So-
double attempt, but it turned out to be a pass.
You know, one thing I will say is if you lose a 2v3 and you're the 3v3 or 3-player team losing to 2 players, that can kind of shake your confidence moving on in the series. So I already mentioned they really just need one game in general in 3v3 to win. But also, all it takes is one game to shatter the confidence of their opponents.
That's true. The Musketeers have a must-win game here, especially since it's so early in the series. Only game 3, tied up. You gotta see the Musketeers kind of converting more on their opportunities that they're given. Try to be more forceful with their touches and their shots, because it's been sort of lackluster so far. Some weak shots into the orange half. Luke and Ninepin have been able to hold off pretty clearly, pretty strong. So we see Luke going up to the ceiling, sort of a touch out to mid. Ninepin easily stopped by Lucas. So we see the Musketeers getting some pressure of their own.
Musketeers has more pressure on them, says Kirby in the chat. And that is a good point. There is a lot of pressure on Musketeers given they're playing a 3v2 so close. I don't think it starts off with a lot of pressure, but I think when you get to this situation, tied up with 15 seconds to go, there is a lot of pressure. Woozy crumbling under the pressure a bit. The ball goes by him. Twisted Tide hits on a long way. There's 5 seconds left.
Let's see if the Musketeers are able to put a shot on, but no, it's stopped right before the pass is able to come out. We see overtime in the 2v3. I'm a little surprised to see it go to OT, but that just goes to show Cheese is trying to fight their way into the series. They are not going to give up that easily. See, in the corner. Ninepin with the back pass opportunity. Luke blocked by Twisted Tide. And Twisted Tide gets that corner boost, so now Ninepin has like nothing. Ninepin able to get the mid, but Twisted Tide quick on the ball.
Yep, and here we go, 30 seconds in, and frankly, I'm feeling scared for Musketeers. I'm not so sure they can win this. Here we go, this is their best look so far. Ninepin stands strong on the goal line.
Very stoically, without jumping, just simple catch to control the ball. You see Luke going up for a ceiling shot opportunity. Oh! Just stopped by Twisted Tide. You can see he jumped on the goal line. It looked like he might have gone over the ball, but just barely able to stop it as Lucas puts it away for the Musketeers.
Truly a brilliant game from Cheese Ed, but ultimately the 3v2 is a bit too much to overcome. I think that would have been saved if they had a third player in a rotation, but they didn't, and that cost them their GG. But 3 Musketeers take the 2-1 lead.
That's right. But
yep.
We go into the 1v1 here. You gotta wonder, Lucas being the